Morning. I'm Mary Catherine Chase, the Director of Communications for the city. And today we have a great agenda where we have a number of colleagues who are sharing points of interest. I'm going to run through the agenda really quickly before we move forward. But I do want to give a plug for the town hall. If you are one of the only people in your team that is engaging in the town hall, I would love for you to reach out and tell others about it. It really is a way in which we are sharing information across teams. We're highlighting successes. We're talking about big projects. We're diving into information from HR, which we all really need to know. And so we would love for even more team members to join us throughout these town halls. I've been holding these since last August as the host. The city has been doing this since COVID, and it really is a great time for us to all come together. All in all, we usually get around 80 people to join. It's around quarter after, and I really do think that we could reach beyond and get more people to come. If you ever have to miss a town hall, you can also look at the content that Maggie Redden sends afterwards, and then it's also located on the P drive under communications, town halls, and then they're each filed based on the different months and years from there. All right. I think that we are starting to get a critical mass. So I'm going to run through the agenda now. This morning, we're going to have a welcome from our city manager, Wyatt Shields, and then we're going to go to our section called How To in the Little City, where HR and Cindy are going to give us some updates that are important. Maggie says we've lost the sharing.
I don't see the slides if you're sharing.
Do you see them again now?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Thank you for telling me. So we're going to run through some updates from HR and from Cindy regarding the retirement board. We're going to go into some big project updates. And as you'll see on the slides this time, we've got a couple of call outs of celebrating success, where different team members are going to present on things that have been completed. But it's an opportunity to give a shout out to the hard work and the great outcomes that have come from our work in the city. I'm going to give an update on the community survey. Caitlin is going to dive into the CIP. We're going to have some reminders regarding events and programs that are hosted in the city. And then we'll turn to internal events and reminders about the things that we do for CFC employees. All right. With that, I'd love to hand off to our city manager, Wyatt Shields. Wyatt.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Mary Catherine and Maggie. Thank you all for organizing this employee town hall meeting. One of the great things I get to do during the town hall meeting is welcome new employees. And Sharon Gibson has joined the city in the last 3 weeks as our HR director. Deron Taylor has joined DPW as a maintenance worker. Welcome, Deron. And we have a police intern that's joined the team, Elizabeth Hall. So welcome to these three. And Sharon, we're going to give you an opportunity maybe just to turn on your camera and say hello if you're available for that. But before we do that, I had 3 things to report on before we go through our agenda. And the first is 2 things that are changing in the community. One, we welcomed last week the opening of a new Whole Foods restaurant. And a lot of city staff worked very hard on the Broad and Washington project to facilitate that opening. Also, Creative Cauldron, our local community theater, moved from just down the road on South Maple Street to the new Broad and Washington building. And they had their ribbon cutting last week also. So 2 new additions. And as we welcome those 2 new additions to Broad Street, I think everyone is aware that Brown's Hardware announced that they're closing. And that's a big emotional thing for the community. I've been by the store, and there's just so many people going through that store to thank the excellent staff, the Taylor family, and others that work at Brown's Hardware for their service to the community. And I did want employees to just be aware there is a community event on March 28th for those who might want to come by and say goodbye to Brown's Hardware March 28th at 6 o'clock at Clarendon's. Might be 6:30. Any rate, look for notices for that. The other thing I wanted to touch base on is what's happening with the federal government, and it does have big impacts for our community. Of course, the entire National Capital Region. We are a company town that is the cornerstone of our economy is the federal government, and in Falls Church, a great number of members of our community work for the federal government. Many of them are working through a lot of change, and some have been laid off in their jobs. And I think it's for us as local government officials, it's important for us to be aware of what's happening in our community, that there might be high levels of stress. There could be other things that kind of present to us in terms of our service to community. And we should be very patient and empathetic for those members of community who might be going through significant change and stress in their work life. So just want to note that and ask for everybody's solidarity with our federal colleagues who are going through that change. Part of our service to community. And so Mary Catherine, I'm not sure, is Sharon on the call? I don't want to put her on the spot. If she's available just to say hello to everybody. I think this is our first employee town hall meeting since she has been on board, but she may not be here. I don't see her turning on her camera. So
She is here.
Oh, okay.
Good morning. I'm
Good morning,
here.
Sharon.
Hopefully you can see me. My camera is on.
There you are.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to formally introduce myself. I know I've had the pleasure of meeting some folks, but not everyone. I'm certainly happy to have joined the City of Falls Church as your new HR director. And I know you've probably seen my bio, so I won't repeat that information. But first, I really would want to acknowledge the incredible HR team that we have here. Latanya, Megan, and Chris have done a wonderful job welcoming me and answering my questions. And from my observations, I see that their dedication and hard work have been really instrumental. And so I really am excited to continue to collaborate with them moving forward. I know some of you aren't located in City Hall, so my plan over the next 30 days is to go out to your physical location where I get the opportunity to meet you, answer any questions that you have. Just as information, most of you probably know the administrative regulations are a priority, and it's something that I'll be working on, to ensure that as we evolve, the administrative regulations evolve also, and certainly interested in your feedback and any suggestions or comments that you have, not just related to the administrative regulations, but any feedback that you would like to share. And I have an open door policy. I hope to be available. My calendar does seem to get filled with meetings, but certainly I welcome a visit or a phone call, and looking forward to working with you and hearing any feedback that you'd like to share. And with that, I will say have a great rest of your day.
Well said, Sharon. Welcome aboard, and just want to add to your thanks to Latanya, Megan, and Chris for their great work as we went through the transition. They just did an awesome job, and big thanks to them. And really great having you here. So welcome, Sharon.
Thank you.
Mary Catherine, I'll turn it back over to you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Wyatt. All right, we're going to stay on a theme of talking with HR, and I invite Megan DeSell up to talk about the nominations for the 2024 Employee of the Year. Megan.
Thank you so much, Mary Catherine. Can you hear me okay? I've got new headphones. Yeah, thanks. So nominations for the 2024 Employee of the Year are being accepted. We just extended the deadline by a day. So you have until tomorrow, end of business, Wednesday, February 19th, to submit a nomination for the 2024 Employee of the Year. And this is a great way to recognize someone who's gone above and beyond in the calendar year 2024. It's been a great tradition to celebrate this individual in the springtime. You'll see on the slide here a couple of pictures of last year's celebration when Rachel Kindle was recognized as the Employee of the Year. And it's awesome to see the nominations come in and to celebrate everyone who has been nominated. So I do encourage you to put something in. And to put together a nice nomination, you want to have a concise executive summary maybe of the person's achievements. And then also if you have the opportunity to solicit other testimonials from other people who were impacted by the individual in the calendar year of 2024, that seems to really help as well. The process is after the nominations are received, they are reviewed by our Employee Review Board. The ERB takes a look at those nominations, and that's a board made up of citizens of the City of Falls Church, most of whom have experience in personnel or other employment-related experience. So they take a look at those nominations and determine who the winner is, and then that person is recognized in front of City Council. This year, it's going to be on April 28th when we recognize the winner of the 2024 Employee of the Year. And if you guys have any questions at all about the nomination or the selection process, please feel free to reach out to me or to another member of the HR team. Yeah.
All right,
And
that next one is you as well, Megan.
yes, it is. So I'm going to keep my microphone on. So February is American Heart Month and National Cancer Prevention Month. So I thought this was a great opportunity just to mention that everyone who's on our health plans, whether it's Kaiser or Anthem, does have completely free annual physicals and cancer screenings. Those are considered wellness benefits, and you don't have to pay for them. No copay, no co-insurance, as long as you go to an in-network provider for your annual physical and cancer screenings. Those are free to you, anyone who's on your. So there's really no excuse to avoid them. It's imperative to know your numbers, to know your cholesterol, your blood pressure, so that if there's any issues, early intervention is the key to staying healthy. And the same with cancer prevention. For any type of cancer screening, those are considered wellness and preventive medicine. So you should be able to get those free of charge.
Thank you so much, Megan. Does anyone have any questions for Megan before we move on? Anything regarding the Employee of the Year or the wellness benefits? All right. Well, thank you so much, Megan. And with that, I'm going to hand off to our colleague, Cindy Mesters. Cindy, you're up for retirement board. Thank you.
Good morning. Yes, as Megan said, taking advantage of the opportunity, good timing for the town hall to pass on important information. The retirement board just presented its annual report to City Council on February 10th. And some of the important highlights is that the pension plans, the defined benefits, are fully funded. In fact, over 100%, both for basic and police. The report also outlined all the investment oversight and good work to provide fiduciary oversight for active employees and active retirees. That report is available on the City Council meeting webpage, and the slides have the link to that. And I also wanted to acknowledge and thank the trustees that are serving to oversee our retirement investments. We have 3 citizens that are appointed by council, and then 4 employee trustees. So I wanted to acknowledge those 4 employee trustees who are looking out for all of us. And that would be Nate Dupree, Matt Parker, Herb Holmes, and Gary Fuller. So our thanks to them for providing that additional support beyond just their day job. And speaking of that, in March, we will have 2 of those positions ending their terms. And so we will be holding an election. 2 of those positions will be one open for a basic employee. If you can go back 1 slide, thank you. And 1 police slot. So employees who are in the peace plan will be able to vote for the candidate on the police ballot, and then for the basic, the same. These are 3-year terms, and they'll start, well, May 1st, ends April 30th. And so be on the lookout in March for an email from HR calling for people interested in serving, and then also the ballot to vote. We are fortunate that 2 of the positions have incumbents who have expressed interest in running again. But this is a great opportunity to understand your retirement and give back. So we encourage all that are interested in serving. And with that, that's the highlight of the defined benefits. If you could do the next slide, I will highlight defined contributions. And that's our 457 and our 401. That's the retirement savings plan overseen by our record keeper, Mission Square. I just wanted to highlight some of the resources that we have available through Mission Square. They have a financial wellness to supplement Megan's important piece on our physical wellness. And both financial and physical is important for our mental wellness too, as the city manager was saying, especially during these stressful times. So the Financial Wellness Center talks about important topics, there's resources, and it's all centralized. Also, Mission Square does numerous educational webinars, and you'll see those emails coming out from HR with a reminder of what's up for that next month. This website address here to Mission Square gives you all of them for the 12-month period. And then, of course, Antoinette Guy is on site once a month doing the one-on-one appointments, and you also get the notice from HR to sign up for those. So with that, I'll pause before the next one, Mary Catherine, to see if there's any questions or comments. I'm always available, as is our HR team.
Are there any questions for Cindy you'd like to share? All right. On that note, our next transition slide stays with Cindy. She's got some great news to share with us.
Yeah, this is definitely an exciting opportunity to celebrate success. It was definitely a community partnership with City Council, but also great staff work that brought us to the finish line. So January 22nd, we held an event to designate an honorary naming of Wilson Boulevard in front of the Eden Center, Saigon Boulevard. So this was approved by council, and it came as a strong community recommendation when our planning department did the East End area plan that went through community development and council action. So this was an after action first step from that planning effort. And it's always great to see something that's just not a plan that sits on the shelf. It was a beautiful day just before the Lunar New Year, the following Saturday, and then official day, the 29th, but sunny, but very cold. So we were, as you can see in the top right photo, very bundled up, 15 degrees, but I'd have to say the enthusiasm and the spirit of everyone made us warm. So I just wanted to celebrate the fact that this came out of the area plan, a lot of community work, but most importantly, the sign that you see in the top left and you can see in the picture top right out on the street was designed in-house. And then our public works sign team was able to fabricate it in-house and install it. So beyond being our own engagement and commitment to it, it also made a very affordable ability to do the project. So a lot of staff were involved. We just have one group picture of the planning team on the right. And as you can see in the left, a lot of community people as we celebrated the unveiling. So thanks to all. And with that, I'll stop there. Mary Catherine.
Thank you so much, Cindy. It was a very exciting event. We also got a lot of great media hits from this as well. And I think that will continue going forward. Our next slide is actually with me. And I know while it looks like a lot of content, I'll try to go through it quickly so we're not falling too far behind. So those of you who have been with the city for a number of years know that in 2023, the city commissioned a community survey that went out to the public and acquired feedback regarding work that the city does and work that the city could do, all in all. And that survey was shared back with city staff and with council and then with the city at large. This year, the city contracted with Problowski Research again, and that survey is actually out in the field right now, where we're getting feedback from a representative sample across the city. So basically that means that we will reach a certain number of responses across specific demographics, and then the city will come to a close. Given our size and how we are of an advocacy base personality across the city, it doesn't take long for us to reach that sample. So my hope is that by March town hall, we're giving you an update on this, but I wanted to put some facts and figures in front of you and then share with you as a reminder that should you get any questions from any city residents, about the survey, you can absolutely send them to me or to Cindy for further information. We also do have a web page up, and we will be continuing to communicate with residents, because the main question is, I got this link. Is this real? Is this spam? And the answer is it is real. And what we're asking residents to do is just check that that link is coming from the form Problowski, because a lot of the way in which the contacts are actually data mined comes from larger listservs, which can be used by other survey groups. So if you are out with the public or talking with anyone in boards and commissions, yes, the survey is real. It will only probably be running for another week maximum to achieve that goal. And then when we are done with it, we will actually share those results. I'd love to take any questions if you have them. You can also ask me later. I love doing this research, collaborating with Cindy and Maggie on this, but I can answer some now, or you can come see me at any point. Does anyone have any questions they want to raise? I do not see any. And so now I will turn you over to Caitlin, who has some great updates regarding CIP, all the work that she and a number of others have been doing on this. Caitlin, please take us through your slides. We're really excited.
Thank you. Good morning. This is Caitlin. Happy budget season to all. We have actually been working on developing the capital budget since November. So we've been in budget season for a while already for some of us, but things are really moving quickly now. We just finalized the proposed fiscal year 2026 to 2031 Capital Improvements Program, or CIP, last week, which includes all the project sheets that were submitted by staff, a list of all completed and active projects that we have going on in the CIP, and a projection of future project proposals and needs over the next 6 years, and a budget to strategically fund and execute all of those. The 6-year total is shown here, $148 million. The full CIP is now posted on the city website at the link shown below. The general government and school fund total is $51 million. That includes public facilities, schools, public safety, recreation and parks, and IT projects. The transportation program total is $59 million. Sewer is $35 million, and the stormwater program is $3 million. This does not include any of the over 25, I think, existing projects that staff is managing and delivering currently. So while this year's budget is a little more conservative, we still have a lot going on in the CIP. Next slide, Mary Catherine. This table here on the right breaks down the program area budgets in more detail for the 6-year plan. Some high-level priorities that went into this year's CIP development. Our focus this year was reinvesting in facilities, utilities, and transportation infrastructure, and multimodal projects emphasizing walkability and bike infrastructure. We focused on aligning projects with our energy efficiency and equity and comprehensive planning goals by adding new sections to each project sheet that highlight how projects conform with those priorities. We focused on affordable housing by implementing a new process whereby, for the first time, a long-range strategic plan and 6-year budget was developed for the Affordable Housing Fund, which will still be included in the operating budget and not this $148 million CIP budget, but will be presented concurrently with the CIP for public awareness. That's a really exciting development that's new this year, and big kudos to Brendan Woodley and HHS staff for working to implement that. And we focus on our priority of effective and realistic project delivery by providing detailed scopes, schedules, and budgets for each project sheet, and ensuring that the CIP workload we present aligns with our staff resources. This resulted in some changes to project schedules and funding, primarily in the transportation program. But overall, it's so that we maintain the CIP delivery schedule as we commit to and smooth out workload and capacity for our staff who manage the CIP. So a positive year. Next slide. I want to thank a couple key contributors. Many colleagues have been working on this for months, so I appreciate everyone's hard work. But special thanks to OCOM for their guidance and help on the CIP cover, our overall design and layout, and the CIP logo that's shown on the bottom right here that Maggie read and designed for us. Thank you. And shout out to Ali Golden and Maria Rojas for helping me print, assemble, and bind the budget books last week. They look really amazing. I think you can see it. And those were delivered to the planning commissioners on Friday. As for schedule, on Wednesday night this week, the fiscal year 26 to 31 CIP will be presented to the Planning Commission and to the public for the first time. We will return to Planning Commission on March 5th for the public hearing and recommendation of the CIP. And then next up, Wyatt will present the city manager's proposed fiscal year 26 operating budget and CIP to City Council on March 24th, which kicks off sort of the budget approval process with the anticipated budget adoption being May 12th. For questions, you can feel free to reach out to me anytime at my email listed here. Also, stay tuned for a proposed CIP presentation and sort of recap for staff sometime in the coming weeks, where we'll review the entire plan in more detail. If you're interested, I'll send out an email for that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Caitlin. So much work from so many colleagues, and especially you. Long days. Well done. I'm sure you're glad that you've reached this point. Does anyone have any questions for Caitlin while she's on right now with us? All right. If not right now, you can always follow up with her. Thank you for providing your email in there as well. Very encouraging for questions. All right. Our next slide, we're popping back over to Cindy, who's going to give a brief update on a really cool initiative that just passed through City Hall and all the colleagues that help with it. Cindy?
Indeed, it was great. Just last week on the 13th, we hosted another student group, international students who are learning about federal, state, local governments, as well as working through English as a second language. So that learning government speak in English. And this is about the fourth time we've done this with the professor who is also a city resident. So it's a really nice connection. But I wanted to take the opportunity to celebrate the teamwork that pulled this off. This year was short notice, but everybody really stepped up. And the students were just so thrilled and engaged and great questions. In fact, they ended up staying a half an hour longer because it was so informative for them. So on the left, you can see those tour guides that I will say I volunteered to work with me, and they were so willing and giving, and the enthusiasm and the love for public service and our City of Falls Church just shone through. And so I only ended up with 2 photos. We did a group shot of the students at the end of the day in chambers, and you can see the mayor was speaking to them about what does a mayor do versus the city manager, and how does our city manager form of government go? So it was a nice way to wrap up all our visits. We had 9 countries represented, and a lot of the students have police background, court background, finance background, human services. So they were really engaged in local government services. So a big thank you to our tour guides.
Thank you for sharing that, Cindy. That's such a nice way that our team members were able to collaborate and share with the community. Speaking of our community, our restaurant community, Sarah's going to give us an update on how Restaurant Week went down, and then share some other updates from the EDO. Sarah.
Hi, everyone. It's Sarah Swinton in the EDO. I'm still collecting data and information from a lot of the restaurants that participated. But just to recap the event this year, we lucked out and didn't have any bad weather. The weather was around 40s and 50s instead of the snowstorm we had last year. So we ended up with 42 restaurants, a lot of them being new that you can see on this slide. But anecdotally, if you want to switch to the next slide, I can say that restaurant diners were very enthusiastic this year. They started coming to many of the restaurants in advance, speaking about Restaurant Week and wanting to make sure they were able to get a table or make a reservation well in advance. And then some even made reservations afterwards. So I'd say that's good news so far, but we are collecting all the data. We have a survey for all the restaurants that participated to see how it went for them. A lot of them have reported that they've sold out of the specials that they were offering. So they kind of had to scramble up a new one, but that was pretty exciting news. So just cursory information that I can say at this point is that the website that we created for Restaurant Week, fallschurchrw.com, really hit a ton of analytics showing that the impact of this year's Restaurant Week was amazing. We got a lot of articles and interviews and live morning news segments with the chefs and with the mayor. So I think that helped drum some of this up. So I really look forward to being able to report on what the ROI and financial success was for the restaurants as we have that data available.
Oh, that's fantastic, Sarah. Before we move on to your next update, does anyone have any questions regarding Restaurant Week? All right, we've got a quiet group today. Okay, we're going to move on to this update from you as well regarding parking.
Yeah, I just wanted to share that we have updated the public parking map of the city. We've did that in advance of Restaurant Week so that people would know where to park if they were visiting the city for the first time. And we've updated the Visit Falls Church website as well as the city's website, showing that we do have the 64 new spaces that are available in the Broad in Washington, which is the Whole Foods building. And then just showing you that the Whole Foods with Open Bear, Creative Cauldron, and soon to be coming to that neighborhood in that building is Little Beast. It'll be a cute little restaurant serving pizza and subs and stuff like that. So we're very excited about that. But this is the map we've created showing where all the parking garages are. The Broad in Washington one on the far right is new to the map. So that's more spaces for people to park in when they visit us and when people are going to the farmers markets on the weekends or whatever other events. So hopefully we've made something user-friendly and easy to understand for people to understand where there is available to park. So I'll add that to the website later on today as well.
Thank you so much for that, Sarah. Does anyone have any questions regarding the parking map? All right. Thank you very much for both of those updates. Next, we have Holly Irwin, who's going to tell us about an exciting upcoming event at the farmhouse.
Hello. So real quickly, just putting in a plug for the Celtic music concert at the farmhouse. It's happening on March 1st from 6 to 8 p.m. Registration is required as, you know, it's a small space. You fill up pretty quickly. Last year we sold out, and the band that will be performing is they are called Celtic Underground, and they're a local band. And they do a bunch of different types of music, but they mainly delve into the history of different folk and Celtic tunes. So if you want to check it out, I don't know if the link is on here, but if you just go to like the Rec and Parks tab on the city's website, you should be able to register online that way.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Holly. Oren, you can do it like I do and Google Celtic music and City of Falls Church. And this is the link that pops up. So thank you so much for that and for coming to us live from the trailers. I think you're maybe my first meeting of y'all being all over there now. All right, next we're going to talk about some things that are going on in the city just for us as employees. And so I'm going to invite Charlie Hamilton to share with us. Charlie?
Good morning, everyone. How are you all doing today? We have next month. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm skipping ahead. What you're looking at right now is the 2025 employee events calendar. It lists all of the upcoming events for the rest of this year. As you can see, we already had our January cookies and cocoa event. We had this month was the Soup or Bowl. Next month will be the employee potluck style pie day. If you want to skip to the next slide, thank you very much. You can see we have a flyer going out for this. The theme is pies because it's on Pie Day. What we are going to do is we will provide pizzas. Staff can, if they want to contribute, bring a pie like apple pie or dessert pie, savory pie, some sort of pie, all fitting within the pie theme. And we just share pies. It's going to be in the Laurel Room, the March 14th, from 11:30 to 1:30. So right in the lunch hours, you all can come by and drop off your pies early to make sure that it's there in case you can't be there at the beginning of the event. You can swing by and drop off your food. If you don't have food, that's fine. It is a potluck. You are welcome regardless of whether or not you have something to provide. EAC will provide drinks and plates and cutlery and stuff like that. And if you have any questions, you can email the Fun Bunch at funbunch@fallschurchva.gov.
Thank you so much, Charlie. Anyone have any questions regarding Pie Day? It's very exciting. And I love the fact that y'all have your own email, funbunch@Falls Church. That is a really good one. All right, thank you. Well, we're going to move into our last content now for the day is sort of reminders and our closing out of it. And Jim Wise, if you're on, would you mind sharing with us about the upcoming procurement trainings?
Sure, I'm right here. Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone saw the email that came out on Friday announcing the upcoming CFC Purchasing of the Basics training sessions that are going to be held. The dates are there on your screen, and they were also in the email. Subsequent to that email, you should have received invites to each of the 3 meetings. Now, these are not 3 meetings that need to all be attended. Each session is the same. You're welcome to attend all 3 if you've got the time and the interest, but these are not like 1, 2, 3, volume 1, volume 2, volume 3. They are the same meeting repeated 3 times to give everybody an opportunity to join in. They are going to be held in the Dogwood Room, but it's also going to be a hybrid meeting. So if you can't make it in person, we want your virtual attendance. Excuse me. We will talk about the purchasing manual, the purchasing resolution, what we in the purchasing office do to make sure that the city is compliant with the Virginia Public Procurement Act. And Cordell Myers and Doug Golan and I will be in all 3 sessions. And if you have any questions about this, please reach out to the purchasing office. We're always happy to help city staff. That's what we're here for. Thanks, Mary Catherine.
Thank you so much, Jim. And we do have another announcement that has come through in the chat, thanks to Scarlett. So for parking, we do have a change in where folks can park starting tomorrow. Scarlett's added the attachment. We'll send that out as well with the notes today. We're moving to that next phase in the geothermal HVAC project. And so folks who do park at the city should probably review those guidelines. I know I'll be doing that as well. So the other reminders before we close today is one, that concert that Holly mentioned, and then that our next town hall is on March 18th. As you know, about 2 weeks out, I'll send reminders for content. I know some of us already have some things on our mind for that. And I'll close the way I began and say, if you have colleagues who are not coming to the town halls, please tell them how much we are communicating with one another about important initiatives, things that we're only learning here on the town halls. It is a great way for us to receive the updates in a relatively short period of time. We're at 11:40 right now. And so with that, I will say thank you all very much. Look forward to that email from Maggie that will have the recording and the notes and the presentations for it. Thank you all. Have a great rest of today. Bye.
Bye.